You're now listening to the Open Africa podcast with Laulu, Nosa, and Furo.
On this episode of the Open Africa podcast, we will be recording remotely. So, pardon any awkward interruptions between us as we discuss. We will be talking about a lot of the noise that is happening in the Nigerian ecosystem with CBN, Binance, BDC licenses revoked, fundraising. Well, the one good bit of good news, the fundraising by Be Free, and the launch of business banking or business tailored solutions within the fintech space. So to kick us off, what's the first thing? So to kick us off, we might as well start with the loudest, CBN, right? So CBN has new rules for INTOs, and CBN also revoked the licenses of over 4,000 BTCs. So it's clear that Nigeria's central bank is aggressively trying to fight for stability of the currency, which, I mean, I think is fighting a good fight, but then when the rest of the country is a bit upside down, I don't know. Yeah, comments, guys. I feel like I'm talking to myself.
That's what remote recording will do to you.
It's the remote thing. That's the problem.
So for me, I feel this might be a controversial take, but I think like on paper, the CBN is doing what they're doing is they're not necessarily bad ideas. Because first they changed IMTO rulings. So remember, Emefiele said that payout had to be in USD. Because what's it called? He wanted to ensure like the actual USD was entering the country. So they reversed that, saying payouts can be in can be in Naira, just to get like a bit more activity. So they've undone a lot of stuff that Mayfield did. Even the crypto thing, they've undone that crypto one. So there's good intention there in terms of trying to drive remittances again, trying to drive more activity so we can get FX. It's just giving everybody suffering right now. Everything just feels like harsh in some way. Like it just feels like everybody's getting flogged in some way despite their best intentions at heart.
I think it's not even. So I think my own take is slightly different. So I maybe because I'm not personally, I can't say that I'm not personally affected. I think everybody's affected, right, by everything that they're doing. But I feel like there are larger economical, macroeconomical issues when you look at Nigeria as a whole. So like trying to do this battle on, better managing inflows and better managing inflows and focusing solely on just like exchange rates and how much people are changing for, etc. It's a step in the right direction, but I just feel like,
I mean, I think that
red right now.
So there are more things that should be done for stability, and those other things are not within the realm of like CBN. So, because like even like battling inflation, there's a lot to be done for security, like food security and
fiscal policies.
From the federal
government side,
so there's a lot that the federal government should be doing that they're not doing. The CBN is doing their part in all of this, but because the federal government is also not pulling their own weight as far as this like as far as getting us on the right track is concerned. What the CBN is doing is just causing a bit of harm because these are things that are not supposed to be done in isolation. So that's why like in my mind is like on the surface, these are the things I believe a central bank should be doing. But at the same time, it's not a central bank that can stop kidnapping so that farmers can farm. Like it's not a central bank that can stop the herdsmen and all that kind of stuff. So there's so many things to be considered, and the central bank only has so much power. And I guess maybe to be fair, in Emefiele's defense, he tended to act bigger than, like, the CBN did bigger than what he was doing, like bigger than their purpose, because perhaps it was because the rest of the other people just weren't pulling their weight. Like in
No,
all
please,
this,
his nephew had to be. He's all selfish, please. I can't believe that he did anything good. Like,
I mean, in his defense, have we heard from our Minister of Finance since it's been more Cardoso than Minister of Finance? Like, even this Binance thing, the NSA is involved. I don't know why the NSA is involved in detaining Binance people when there are bigger security issues at play in the land. So for me, it's just
so they're
maybe,
trying to pin terrorism financing on Binance. That's why the NSA is involved in that.
That's why they're asking them to bring $10 billion.
I didn't say that part. I said the holding them.
That's our own terrorism.
so
We are
like
terrorizing private.
I think the AML stuff is also called, is, how do I put it, is a cop out. Like saying terrorism finance, I think is a cop out, because Binance's true crime is they allow efficient price discovery for the naira, right? Because if you look at it, okay, we want to enter a free float, and it's willing buyer, willing seller. Where are people supposed to get the data? Is it FMDQ? Like FMDQ, what you see is previous days activity. Like it's FMDQ is like a step behind. There's no true, like, I don't even think like Bloomberg. I mean, I've not used a Bloomberg terminal, but I don't think there's like data on Bloomberg terminals on like Naira USD rates. So the only true place for like traders to find information was like exchanges. And it's the same thing Aboki FX did. Aboki FX gave what's so called give transparency to the market. Like if BDCs wanted to charge a rate, all they needed to do was open Aboki FX. Same thing they did with Binance, because Binance showed the true reflection of demand for now. Well, it's not the true reflection, but at least it gave some insights into demand and supply of FX. So CBN banning it is because I guess they don't want efficient price discovery, which is, I guess, it's by design. It's their own way, because if you can visualize and see how much demand is coming in, you can properly speculate. So that's why the crime of Binance is having data, not necessarily this terrorism thing they're saying. I think that's a bullshit excuse, because when they're kidnapping people, it's not as if they're sending it to crypto wallets.
I think their point is that how do you know they're not sending to crypto wallets? As per you collect the naira in whatever Nigerian whatever, I don't know, a Nigerian institution, but then the money disappears. That's the angle they're going with. You get what I mean?
I feel like that's an unserious accusation, because last time I was extorted, it was money point account that they gave me.
Anyways, I've been trying to look for good news in Africa, really, quite frankly, over the last couple of weeks, because it just feels like right now, with everything going on in Nigeria, it just feels like it's a lot.
Good news might take time. That would I don't know, be free raise 3 million. So
No, but we have a issue with CBN. These BDC licenses that they revoked.
oh yes, BDC. So they revoked what, 4K plus, following up their new BDC regulations, which I think are also a good thing, because it provides like some clarity. Because before the old BDC regulations, there was a bunch of gray areas which allowed for anyhow. But again, that Nigerian regulations are very prescriptive, so these ones are very like defined again, and they provide clarity. There's even like opportunities there for people who want to do online BDC business and whatnot. So there's opportunity that they've created at the same time. And I think just revoking all these licenses, like revoking the unserious people, and like, let's start from scratch. So again, on paper,
because
I
what's
feel
that
like
happening? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, as like on paper, I feel like Cardoso is not doing the wrong things. It's just condition.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying he's doing the wrong thing. I'm just saying, like, you know, when you're, I don't know, you're in a room full of people, you're all supposed to be working together. One person is doing everything and the others are just looking. It's like, the impact of that
It's
one.
like it's like group work in uni,
Mm-hmm.
and only one person is pulling his or her weight, and the rest of them are just faffing and
Yeah.
speaking English.
Exactly
Yeah.
that. Exactly that.
It's like with BDCs, though, I think it's very, like what they've done, I must commend because it became a thing where people are basically just getting BDC license so that they can access FX to do business. So maybe I'm importing stuff and I regularly need dollar, and because of how difficult it is to go through the bank because of just all the, red tape, it's like, okay, let me just go and collect my own license so that I'll be getting my application from CBN and I'll figure out how to document to get past. Do you get what I mean? That
Yeah.
started happening a lot, which obviously applied more pressure on the currency.
Plus, they were
Like,
just handing themselves those licenses.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go and look at the people who the names
Mm-hmm.
of the owners of those businesses, like their
Mm-hmm.
names, you can with a simple Google search, find
Mm-hmm.
out and see their station. So there's also that.
no, I
Yeah.
mean, some of these names were, I don't- in fact, some of these names they deserve to be shut down. Like, I was looking at the list and it was just
Or just based on how they named the business, right?
Aggregate Dynamic Exchange, account to account
Ah,
BDC. Yes, I was like, just the name of the BDC, in fact, deserves shutting down.
but the name should tell
There's,
you everything you need to know. Because the case of, you know, our guy has said he can give us license, so we'll just quickly put name, put document. Let's just go and submit it, quick, quick, quick. There's no need to think about it. There's no business essence. Do you get what I mean?
there's Barcelona BDC Limited.
That guy is a Barcelona fan. That's all.
Clearly, Messi for the win.
There's there's BBL BDC Limited.
Oh god damn, he's
No,
financing
no, 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 no,
BBLs.
no.
Believe in
No, sir,
Africa
no.
BDC. I'm serious. Believe in Africa
No.
BDC. Blackberry BDC. Um, let me see another one.
I mean, it actually tracks because someone once told me that all those bookies that you see on the streets of Lagos selling dollar, they are actually agents of BDCs. Like they're actually affiliated. So every time you buy dollar from the parallel markets, somewhere it is being recorded as a legitimate
Exactly.
transaction. So
Yeah.
it stands to reason that there are so many frivolous BDCs there because what's the name of that guy that Furo used to buy from that year?
Please, let's not
That
put
guy
his
is
name
not
out there.
doing any legitimate transaction. I don't
I mean,
understand. Our listeners
he
are
has accounts with
finding.
De-
he has
demand and
accounts
supply.
with the bank.
Demand
I
and
did
supply
even
BDC.
transact with him
Oh
inside the
God.
banking hall. Mm.
Don Dada
Bro, like
BDC.
those guys are banking halls facilitating transactions. It's actually crazy.
Ah, God, this is so bad. Ebube BDC. Efficiency BDC.
I have nothing left to say. I beg.
Empowerment BDC.
Oh God.
Power to the
Esther Code.
people.
Sorry, Esther Code BDC. For Esther Code BDC.
See, some of them
What's
are telling
going
you what
on?
they're doing with the money.
Everlasting Glory BDC.
God damn it.
Fallopian. Oh, sorry, I can. So I just saw. Yes. Fallopian BDC. Yeah, like a lot of these guys deserve to be shut down. Like just off the name alone. Like if I was the one that's reviewing the application, I saw the loan, name and I'd have rejected the application because these are
But
not
that's the
serious
thing
people.
now. And it's never to accuse everybody, but it's like when your guy said approve this thing, what do you want to do there? Want to be speaking
Like
English?
these are not serious people at all.
Uh Anyways, let's move on from the comedy show that is the BDCs. Mara
Ah,
has paused crypto wallet
I
as
don't
a
know why they're
crypto
calling it.
business.
What are they
When you
calling
pause
it?
crypto
Pausing.
wallets, what is
They have
left?
shut down.
Oh my god.
Some will say
So
we are always cooking crypto, but the proof is in the pudding. Abi, how do they used to say it? I don't think any one of them has ever closed up shop without drama.
You see, my problem with Mara is It's the way they launched, the way they entered the market.
If I speak, I'll be in trouble.
I know when they launched, they tried. In fact, what am I saying? They tried. They poached some people. They poached one person from Kuda. They tried to poach a couple people, and they offered them FX, and
Yeah.
the salaries were ridiculous. And in my mind, I don't want to be like a hater and say don't take this job. But in my mind, I was like, yeah, these guys are not going to. You're not going to make it. If you're offering a junior person what 3, 4, 5K a month, what will you offer your seniors? You're going to run out of this money very quickly.
I think some people just went there. When you know you're just going to be there for 1 year, just cash out, do small work, and start finessing your way to the next job. You have your next egg.
Everybody involved was just robbing the white man. Like, I think it's one big con job because there's no way they thought that thing was sustainable. Nah, but now they're saying they have paused it. Paused in quotes. Paused.
Let's see if they unpause. If they press play.
For the uninitiated, what were they doing? What was their business model?
Was it an exchange or self-custody wallet? I know the way they told a good story about banking. Well, not banking. It's the way Sam Yans, it's be your own bank, that kind of crypto grift kind of this gist, where they just talk a big game about educating people on crypto. Because I know the first time I even opened the app, the exchange part was not working. It was like learning about crypto that was working.
Things I want to say cannot be said on the podcast, so we'll talk about that offline, please.
I just need you guys to know now that it's further is withholding gist from you. On me is not no side, it's for
Please, I still like being in the ecosystem small. Be free. Be free is our
One good
bit
news.
of news. They raised $3 million.
They raised-
Yes, please, no sir. Do you want to share what Be Free does?
They do debt recovery, but they say it's ethical debt recovery. So they treat people with kindness when recovering the debt.
In this country?
Although,
that's not what ethical debt recovery means, no, sir. There's no such thing as kindness. When somebody is like,
there's kindness.
it just means that they will not Photoshop your head onto a nude body. They will not text your family members and say that you are wanted by the police. They will not say that you are using a course. They won't do all of those things.
Wait, is that not kindness?
But they will call you and say, Mr. Nosa, when are you going to pay? This is very embarrassing.
No, now
if you've ever seen bank recovery guys, that's ethical recovery.
So they are very gentle in the sense that they can restructure or pay this one, promise to pay. It's a very gentle approach. It's very humane.
I'm proud of them for doing better, but I wonder how that works for them.
I want to know what their success rate is, Sha. Even though as I'm asking the question, I'm actually signing up.
So
I need ethical debt recovery, please.
So they say they collected from the release out of $400 million, they've collected 12.5%. I don't know if that's a good or bad number in the debt recovery space, but it sounds low to me.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I mean, and again, this is a dollar recovery, USD.
I mean, they're converting it to dollar. It's not as if
Naira.
It's Naira, yes. It's just the equivalent of 400 million. When you're putting it on TechCrunch, you cannot post Naira.
Got it. I mean, since it's Naira, like the thing with debt recovery is that you're already at zero if you do nothing. So even if you get 1% back, is a blessing because odds are that you've written off the bad debt from your books.
Yeah.
So you've already tested the loss. So anything coming back now is straight into income. And 10%, 12%, you are, at least me, I know that if it was me, I would be thanking God. 100% recovery is very unlikely.
So according to this release, they said they are going to start selling bad loans to hedge funds. I don't know why one would buy a bad loan from Nigeria, but okay, that for hedge funds looking to diversify their investments, they can buy poor NPLs from African banks. I just want to let the people, the
So
hedge funds, know that that's a bad idea.
I think the idea is that if you are buying the bad loans at say 10 cents for every dollar, if they recover 20% of that loan, then there's a 10% spread, like
Do you know what?
10% return.
I just want to know that if you are buying bad debts in Nigeria, you lose more. You and the person that gave out the loan originally will lose twice.
Oh God.
Imagine
But
trying to sell
your
now.
in theory.
Wait now. Wait now. Imagine trying to sell to Goldman Sachs, Abi, whichever hedge fund, or to Vanguard, one of those fancy hedge funds. BlackRock buying.
No further comment because the public does not need to know about it. I'm just going to bleep it out. Laulu, reminder to bleep that out before police will camp in front of my house for the next 3 months.
What's it called? Message BlackRock and tell them that who is he not to?
Fortunately, this type of thing, BlackRock won't be interfacing with. They'll be interfacing with Be Free. So it's Be Free that he'll be telling that one.
Anyways, moving on. Carbon acquires Vela.
Carbon is entering into the business banking space. It was funny because Vela started out as a crypto thing. They were helping businesses and merchants get paid via crypto, that crypto payment gateway, which I told plenty of people that's a bad idea, but nobody listened to me. They were still chasing VC money. Anyway, they pivoted. Actually, before I continue my gist, almost everybody that tried to do crypto payment gateway has packed up now. I just want to remind you that on a long enough time horizon, I'm always right. Anyway, but back to Vela. Yeah, so Vela's moved to business banking and stopped doing crypto. And now Carbon has acquired them to start up Carbon business. They say it's AI powered SME banking. Now that's the part where I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like
Yeah.
anything short of going into the marketplaces with POS terminals and virtual accounts and checkbook for business banking, I don't know how far you're really going to go.
All I can
with
say is,
because this market, if you see the SMEs that really drive value, like if you go into Alaba or Computer Village, for example, those guys are processing literal millions of naira every single day, and the shop may not be more than your pantry. They will have a warehouse somewhere else, or they will house the goods with somebody else and then go and get it when you want it. But on the surface, it just looks like a small business. Those guys are not signing up online. So if business banking is your play, I don't think you're going to see full value. You're going to be competing with the existing guys. If I were to do a business bank play today, Sha, my BTL army is going to be massive. That's what I'll spend all my money on. But that's just me, though. I could be wrong.
So for me, the way I see this thing is there are two types. There are hard problems and there are soft problems. Hard problems tend to revolve around payments, collections. Okay, the real hard things to solve. Do your transfers work fine? Is your terminal reliable? Can I get paid? And there are soft problems, which are all these inventory management, invoicing, payroll. Those are soft problems. I personally believe you need to lead with hard problems, like your solution for hard problems, before you sell soft problems. Because if you come lead with solving solution for soft problems, you are alienating, because it's a very primitive market. And these are when everybody is operating on survival. You're not doing AI powered SME banking to give people insights. It's a nice to have, it's not a need to have. The guy wants to sell and he wants to make money. Unless your AI is bringing customers, I'm not sure what is the
The
immediate
AI
value.
can help with customer retention now.
How will the AI help with customer retention if you are selling stolen phones in Alaba market?
My dear, you won't be using Vela.
Hey, nobody selling stolen phones, please. Please.
No, because I feel like
And
those types of problems they are the problem, and I think that's what Money Point has kind of figured out, in the sense that they might not have the finesse, even OPay too. They might not have the finesse for the soft problems, but they are very good at the hard problems, which gives them enough time to figure out how to solve the soft problems. It gives them enough time to get the finesse. Leading with finesse, I don't know how it will work in our current market. I'm
yeah,
it's in
leading with
America
finesse
maybe.
works. Leading with finesse works you're trying to do if you are trying to do it as kind of like a SaaS play where you're doing like business management and you're building like CFO tools, that kind of thing. But it will be a small market, but you might be able to go deep with the businesses that you have.
Now,
But
the other
It,
English should
like you
say that
said,
it works in a market where there's money and where people have eaten they've had their basic needs are met.
because if you think about it, you're saying CFO tools. Let's even be very literal. How many Nigerian businesses actually have a CFO? Like have someone that's designated as CFO? The majority of those businesses are one man business. Like it's the owner that's
They have
doing everything.
accountants. They have
Exactly.
exactly,
They have
and
account.
most businesses in Nigeria don't even have accountants. The vast majority is literally mom and pop shop style. They are probably turning over less than 20M, 10M a
Yeah.
year.
So
It's a
you're like,
limited market, and if you must do business bank, even if you start with finesse, you must find your roots eventually.
you're selling a sophistication for a market that is not quite there yet. And I mean, this is not to knock. I mean, again, one can never say if this will blow or if it will not blow. But I'll just say it is my concern with leading with, in fact, anything AI is like what Bosun Tijani is doing in that ministry. That's not the problem. We
Oh,
have we have
sorry.
we have hard problems to solve.
On AI, have you seen that our phone?
I'd
Why do
rather
you
not
people want
speak.
me to cut out so many things? You are making Laulu's work hard.
I don't
What's
want I
the
don't I don't
problem?
want to speak I don't want to speak to that.
Kuro, should I leave
Mm.
this in?
No, please.
Somebody's going to appoint him as chief AI officer very soon.
Do you understand?
It's going to
Hey,
chop another company's money.
I can't knock the hustle, please. I beg you. Even me now, I'm looking for work as
I,
chief
I
AI
don't know his
officer.
hustle. I'm just inspired by the hustle, man. Like whenever there's a new trend, he's there, he's in front.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like all these things, like leading to AI, all of them, it's just I feel it is solving a future problem. Like it's solving a soft problem, and most pertinent things are not solved. Again, it's what you end up having is a very niche customer base, and I don't know if that niche customer base can give you enough scale to make proper money. Because if this is a very dumb deduction, but I'm guessing Carbon is entering business banking because they want to get serious deposits so they can lend because lending is their main stuff. And I don't think the AI stuff they're offering is not paid for, is free from what I've seen. So they're trying to attract businesses. And I feel like the businesses you attract by leading with AI are not businesses you won't attract businesses at a scale that will bring in the deposits that you need for your lending business. But that's just my assessment and my theory. I might be wrong.
The
So
carbon guys have been in the game for a minute. So moving
yeah.
on. Chipper is hanging on strongly. They have
Oh,
recently launched Chipper for Business from
I
from the tweet. They are saying that it will be powering payments for millions of people across Africa who require reliable, scalable, and secure infrastructure.
yeah. When you sign up, it takes you to type form. So that's that's one way to look at this. The documentation is still, it links to Zuna. Zuna is that Zambian company that they acquired sometime last year or the year before.
Mm.
So I don't think they finished cooking this one beyond this landing page they've done. I mean, it's functional and it gets into the market, but I think they've just announced. It's like cheaper ID. They just announced and they've not finished cooking the thing. But respect to Chipasha, they're trying to survive in a tough situation. Because at least they're trying to trim down their FX costs, from my understanding. It's an interesting one because this cheaper for business, they are going into competition with guys like MFS Africa and all the people that want to do remittance business. So I see the idea. They have the rails to do it. It's just they're entering this enterprise thing with cheaper ID and this cheaper for business thing is a different skill set from what they've been doing on the cheaper retail side. Furo, you sell to enterprise now, so you know what the sales cycle is like.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we've gone from good news relative to now more wahala. So Brass has been having lots of challenges with lots of clients complaining about, funds being transferred but not being received.
In December, somebody wanted to sponsor E-Drink Festival. They sent the
Mm.
sponsorship money on Friday. We didn't get it until like midweek the next week. And apparently this has been going on because I also know another business that wanted to pay salaries and they initiated the transfer and it was processing for like a week.
So if I mean, let's act like I don't know anything about financial services, right? If I'm doing a transfer bank to bank, right? I've initiated on my end, the account is fully funded. Why would that money not, do you get, why would that money just be hanging in the balance? Like, why would the beneficiary not get the money?
There are a couple of issues. There could be one, there's actually no money for you to transfer, which is usually the top one. Two, it could be you've breached your collateral limit and CBN NIBS has paused you from transferring until your balance of payments are, your credits and debits kind of balance out a bit. But again, it's not a prolonged thing. Three, it could be a technical issue.
Do they even have needs?
Access.
Yeah, they don't have NIBS access exactly. So that's what I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, okay.
And three is a technical issue where if the transfer service is just not firing like the way it should. So maybe there's like a manual workaround to process payments on the back end. Those are the three reasons that I can think of why if you do a transfer now, it doesn't get to your destination. I mean, this is outside NIMS downtime, and NIMS doesn't have downtime because this has been going on since December. NIMS doesn't have downtime for 3 months at a stretch. Everybody else's transfers is going. So this is a uniquely Brass issue.
The CEO has said he's working on it and is taking responsibility. So I guess we'll continue to monitor and see what's happening there.
He didn't tweet for a month, so I want to think that he's even writing the code self. But for me, I think this is a prolonged issue, which which is a cause for concern. Outages and downtimes like this do not last over a month or two. If I was a Brass customer, I'd be worried. I mean, they're a good brand and they built up something really good, but this is not. I don't see how anything good comes out of this. Like I said to the first point, usually what tends to happen when situations like this happen is that there's actually no money to transfer. And it's just your balance is just a paper balance and not really actual backed by anything.
It's crazy.
Moving on to more.
The reason why, sorry, just to end, like, I really feel for customers because you can't even move. Like, if you say, oh, yeah, I want to move somewhere else, pending when they sort it out. If you do transfer, your money will miss. So it's like, if you do, damned if you don't, which is why I get the frustration on the internet about the situation. Hoping they figure it out, because Yeah, it's
because
not a good
yeah,
place to be,
it's not a good place to be,
even
to
for
be very honest.
employees.
Because
Yeah.
even for businesses, because brass is not licensed, if they shut down, there are no protections. Your money is gone. Like you have no legal recourse to anything. It's not NDIC insured or anything. So I
So
hope
it's
they
like
pull.
our brothers, Patricia. There's nobody you can go who.
Hey, no, no.
I mean, I don't
It's
say
not like
Patricia,
Patricia,
but
please. Their worlds
yeah,
apart, please,
because
please.
Carbon also had a similar issue. Like it's the one they had. I think they had like AWS issues one time, and you couldn't use the app. But at the same time, what Carbon did was that you could fill like a Google form and you could put with like a transfer instruction and they could fire the payments manually. I don't think Brass has even offered that option to their customers. Or maybe they are, and they are, when you file it, when it's in processing state, they manually batch it. But again, it's taking weeks to come to, like, again, I told you, I told someone wanted to pay salaries. They initiated the payment, it was in the processing state for like 1 week. And after a week, it just said failed.
Hmm.
But yeah, definitely not a good place to be.
More bad news. Split has laid off people, but I think that in light of everything that's happening in the country, I'm sure lots of organizations are laying off quietly.
Yeah, I think,
Mm.
and speaking of split, I think also fiber. I think fiber has quietly gone out. Um, I know
Hasn't
they
fiber been out for years
But
now?
yeah,
not not really. They have just been existing. They had been
Ah,
existing. They had that one property now that people stayed at and you could rent, but all the other properties had gone. Now even the fiber website is not going again. That's why it doesn't load anything again. So I think it's gone.
well,
Split also similar prop tech type play. Um, but again, these are Nigeria problems. I feel like this.
yeah, because these are macroeconomic problems, and it's so frustrating because like we have so many good ideas. There's just no market, and which is why everybody ultimately defaults to financial services. Let's lend, let's do transfer, let's sell airtime, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, that's you are facilitating bottom of the pyramid activities, and that's where you make money. But once it goes beyond basics like this, there's like we just struggle. We've seen the erosion of the middle class. The people who would typically use services like that, they just can't. It doesn't make any sense. And you can only use VC resources to subsidize your service for so long. At some point, you will have to pay pump price. And at that
You know,
point, it's out of reach.
if there's any time we needed VCs to subsidize the Nigerian economy is right now.
Unfortunately, the zero interest phenomenon has ended. American interest rates are like 5%.
Yeah,
Nobody
because
is throwing around like that again.
because from the article, the split guy said that landlords are increasing rent to levels that where their tenants just can't afford. So split can't even pass that cost to the tenant. The guys are just saying, you know what, I'll just because split was already more expensive than the average. Guys are just saying, look, I'll just go somewhere, maybe move back to the village than pay rent in Lagos. So it's just
From me,
yeah,
I'm
it's
about to
more
move to Norway because what they are showing me in this place. Let me go and rent house in Ibafo. Be doing remote work from there with Starlink. Let's call it a
we
day.
yeah.
they sent my power bill, and one of my neighbors says a message like, "Is this real?" Like, I don't understand. They
Man,
sent you bill
He
with your
better
name.
believe that it's real. He better believe they just increased the unit's cost of power in my own estate to like a couple of days ago. People have been complaining in the group chat. Me, I've lost the energy to fight anything. I don't have energy. Please just bring it on. I beg.
Yeah, I feel for founders, yeah. I feel for founders in this country,
Please, I
and
feel for
because if you,
everybody right now.
I feel for everybody because if you don't have right now, if you don't have enough buffer in terms of like you don't have like cash reserves to just keep you going, you are really finished.
Mm-hmm.
You are really finished because you can't really pass once people spending power reduces, they start cutting off all these luxuries. And again, if you're solving soft problems are usually the first ones to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Anyways, moving on. PalmPay, they initially were trying to push QR code payments, but then they have come to reality and they're now issuing physical debit cards.
they're the last to join the pattern.
Yeah, like for me, I think I've been saying this for time that QR code payments is, in theory, is very nice, but then I think that Nigeria as a country has invested significantly in like the whole card infrastructure. And if there's going to be a move to QR, it needs to be like the entire ecosystem, financial services ecosystem coming together and say, okay, this is the move, right? And then it's going to happen over a couple of years because people have invested in POSs, people have invested in plastics. There's like a lot of money that's gone down this path already. And so, yeah, one single player on their own deciding that they've hacked it and they can do QR, unless everybody's on your, you know, using you alone, then I don't know how it works. Yeah.
It has to come straight from CBN. CBN will have to ban cards.
But exactly. But because that's so I always see NIBS as part of
The cost
CBN,
of
right?
the
And
cost
they
of
tried
anything.
NQR.
Sorry, remote recording. Please go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was saying like what's it called? NIBS already tried NQR. NIBS is essentially like semi regulator, right? And it flopped. Do you get what I mean? So then why would any single organization think that they can make such a big swing, considering the fact that if anybody's gonna accept payments from your QR card or your QR code or whatever, their own bank app needs to be able to, you need to be able to scan that code and it would mean something to their bank, right? But then all that, nobody has made that investment in making that work. So,
Yeah. For me, the bigger point about even trying to push like a QR card or like a non-traditional card or bank transfer agenda is the cost of the change management. Like it's not impossible to get people using like a new payment method. But you are going to spend so much money in user education, incentivizing merchants, incentivizing users to the point that it's now not worth it. And you might as well just rely on the central bank telling the banks, push this or push that. Because we've had QR for a while and nobody has really, I mean, we've heard Nosa's encounters with QR in the wild where people don't even know where to look. They don't know how to expect the payment. So they can't even confirm that he has, that he made a payment. Issues like that. So I don't think that I never thought it was going to be successful just because of how attuned we are to cards and transfer, which I still feel like, yeah, that's where we should be playing. Me, I happen to like cards. It's hard business, but it is what it is. And then
Yeah,
transfers are like, yeah, transfers, they work, they're instant, they are quick. Let's keep with that and just optimize to heaven.
yeah. There's that. I've forgotten what they call. Is it switching costs? Yes, the switching costs are too high in some ways. I feel like there's going to be a yeah, basically telling people all the infrastructure that they've spent money and time on, all the contracts that they're in, have to fall back for QR. And I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen.
if someone can prove me wrong on my stance on QR, I just feel like QR can't work here. just because of, everything they've already spoken about. But it'll be interesting to see if it eventually becomes a thing. Yeah. Because since there's Sakpa everywhere, maybe, people want to stop paying for cards, paying plastics, paying, all those things. I don't know, but we'll see. They're pivoting from agency banking to edtech, focused on everybody's now using AI. Okay, AI powered platform creating and delivering courses through messaging apps.
I think that's a very wild pivot. Very, very wild pivot. I mean, I respect them for choosing to pivot, but it's a very, very wild pivot. And even their, what's it called? I don't know. I just feel like the whole wind down hasn't been the best handled, because you hear apparently there are a bunch of customers that were using Keeper for Keeper just don't have access to their data apparently, and the comms hasn't been very clean in terms of how they're handling that transition. And I don't know, it feels somehow, because they always, I guess, is the one that's the founder, the co-founder that's on Instagram, always projected like this air of them being in control and being very conscious of their decisions, and then you find out that they don't really have any control. For instance, the thing where they said that they lost like 30 million or something, the POS terminals that they have, they're trying to offload it, because they kept insisting that they didn't sell Keeper Pay to Block, that it's just Block is just managing it. It's just a very shoddy transition in an attempt to show that they're in control of things. They've bungled it in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about this. I wish them all the best. Yeah.
I mean, this is a business Laulu used to believe in. Laulu was convinced by inventory management.
As a feature, not as your core business, sir. Please.
Now you're changing position.
I'm not changing position. It has never been a core proposition. Like, what are you doing with inventory management? I think inventory management as part of something more is the way, or is a better play, as opposed to you are just doing only inventory management.
That's everything for today.
Yeah. That's all for today. I wish them the best. I wish them the best.
And again, we're recording remotely, so sorry for any awkwardness.
Laulu might have to do some very, very strong editing.
Yes.
It's time to put Laulu on the salary. Times are tough.
I have a guy that can do for 10K.
Maybe we should start selling ads. Perhaps you guys consider that.
Let's stop recording. For this part of the conversation.
Maybe we need to be nice to people so we can sell ads.